Hi everyone. This is your video today on just questions and answers. So Ronnie and I are going to go over some of the questions we hear all the time from people that have expressed an interest in sharing the oils and just getting people involved that they know. And there's a few similar things that come up often, whether we're talking about sharing them via a class, which we'll go over some of the things that we hear a lot about that, sharing them by setting up just a one-on-one appointment, whether that means that you're going to be the one doing it and you feel comfortable and confident enough to do that, or you're inviting someone from your upline to do it, or you're just literally making the connection, introducing your upline and being more of like a referral partner. That's still considered sharing. And then other ways that we also do it online as well. So we're just going to start with the first question that we hear often, and it's sort of like, just how do I invite someone to a class, or what do I do if there's someone interested in learning more about the oils? So Ronnie, what, in your experience, what do you think are some effective ways of getting people to show up and come to a class? The things that you've seen people do that work, and things that you've seen people do that don't work as well with inviting.
Yeah, well, so first of all, I try to just step my thinking back a little bit, because what comes up a lot of times is I start to overthink. I start to overanalyze the situation, and I think, oh my God, a class, I have to be a teacher, I have to perform. And I start to get this anxiety. So I take a deep breath, I think about it, and I just say, all right, so I'm going to share these oils. That's my intention. That's what I'm putting out there. So what I do is I just invite people just to learn about the oils, and I keep things very, very, very simple. When people are coming to you, or you're coming to them, you're inviting them to learn about oils, it could be brand new to them. So you just want to keep it very, very simple. One of the things that I just like to do is I like doing one-on-ones when I'm sharing. I like that most. Some people like to get a small get-together. What I tell people to do, and what I think works really well, is just imagine if you were inviting your friends over for just an evening of playing games, or having coffee, or having a little party, a brunch, who knows, whatever you want to call it. Keep it at that frequency, because if you do that, it's inviting the whole way around. It doesn't feel like you're you're trying to sell something, and that's something that comes up a lot. And Marlene, you agree, we hear that all the time, where people go, I don't want to be salesy, and that's usually the first thing that comes out of their mouth. They're thinking about it before you can even finish explaining to them. So I understand that, so I want to put that out there. Nobody wants to seem salesy, and we don't want you to be salesy. We want this to be a very friendly, a very organic interaction. So keep it really simple at first, so when you meet people, and if it's you call it your warm market, your friends, family, test a class out with them. Have them in front of you and just talk to them about the oils, and see what the energy is like, see what the reception is like, see what they say, and get some criticisms from them, because it's less painful when you're getting it from them than it is from the strangers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And keep in mind, hope if you're local to anyone that enrolled you or that's on your team, and that it feels comfortable with a class, we can normally be there with you for at least the first few as a sharer. So don't feel like you have to know it all. And it's probably going to be your warm market that's at the class in the beginning, right? Your people that you're talking to oils about all the time, and they're starting to ask you, what's up with these oils? I want to learn more about them. And if you're going to start to invite people outside of that are still in your warm market, but you're just going to invite people local to you, one of the things that I see that doesn't work very well with inviting is that people set up like a Facebook invitation or whatever, like a party, and they just start adding people to this Facebook invite, and I'm having a class in my house and everyone should come, and that's the extent of it. And they think, oh, I invited everyone to a class. Not going to work, right? Because people are saturated with these invites and these events on Facebook. Half the time I have these events going for other things, and people are like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know I was in that. So that's not an effective way to invite. Nor is blasting an email to everyone and just saying, here's an invitation to come, or texting everyone, mass texting everyone with an invitation, a flyer. Not effective, right? What is effective is to, and it takes more time, but quality over quantity. It's super cool if 5 people are at your class that want to be there, that want to learn, that are ready to change their lifestyle, then have 20, 30 people show up that don't even really know why they're there, right? So effective way is personalizing that invitation. So you text someone or you call them up and you say, hey, Susie, I remember that you always talk about how difficult it is for you to get your child to fall asleep every night, how you struggle with that. And I've been using these essential oils that have really been helping me with similar issues. And I'm going to be teaching a class about that. And I would love for you to come because I really believe they're going to help you. And I'd love to offer you a sample of that to try as well during the class. And so now, right, you're making it about that person. You're making it about what that person needs and that you know what those needs are. I mean, you may not know everyone's needs, but there's certainly, if this is your warm market, you know some people's needs. So that's a more effective way to invite. Another thing is to say, you know, there's a very limited amount of space for this class. We really try to keep it more intimate because people are discussing their health issues. I'm going to be giving away prizes and there's going to be snacks. So I really, really need to know how many people to expect. So if you're really sure you're coming, please let me know. And I even have a little ticket that I give sometimes and go, if you bring this with you, you get a free bottle of essential oil, which we'll talk about later. We have a class in the box with free oils. And just by doing that free thing, they've actually done studies where it increases attendance by something crazy like 80%. So doTERRA has done their research with what works with these class in the box. So you say, but don't take this from me if you're really not sure you're coming because you're taking away a free bottle of oil for someone else. And this will then help you invite in a way that's effective, right? That's going to have people come. And then you also follow up with them, you know, as the time gets closer, a couple days before, and not saying when you text, are you still coming? Or just making sure. No, you're going to say, hey, Susie, looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. See you there. You're not going to give people an out, right? You're going to just give them that reminder about it. So those are things I've seen that are effective.
I text people and I go, you better be there.
Exactly. That's awesome, right? So those are just some things that I've seen work and that I've seen increase attendance at classes and that sort of thing. People forget, you know, you invite someone 3 weeks prior and people forget, they don't put it on their calendar. So remind them in an effective way, like see you then. And then at that point, if they're like, oh, I totally forgot something came up, I'm not going to make it. Another effective thing to do is be like, well, I'm so sorry you're going to miss the class, but how about you look at your calendar and you tell me when you're available and I'd love to set something up just for you. So if they're really interested and they can't make the class, this is your opportunity to see if they're really interested. And if they're not willing to give you a date on the calendar, it probably means they're not interested. And better, again, to have quality, right? And if it's truly the fact that they can't, they're going to give you a date and you're going to give them a one-on-one or with your upline or whatever. And, you know, so you don't let them just slide. You make that, you give them that opportunity to make that appointment with you. And I think those are effective ways to invite, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. So let's hurry through because we have a few questions here and we kind of spent a few minutes on that one, but it's an important one because if people don't show up, you can't really share, right? So want to make sure that invitations are effective. Are children invited to classes? You know, I don't know, that's got to be based on your discretion. Obviously, I would much rather have someone come with their child. I know there's a real need. You know, but it's challenging to really teach with children that are being disruptive. So it's got to be, I've had both. I've done both. And for me, you know, I try to say, well, if you can't find babysitters, it's fine. But I'd much rather have a class with a couple kids than like full of children where it just becomes like really difficult to even talk and have people hear you. What do you think?
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. And one of the things that you have different options here, and so don't let that stop you. If somebody says that, hey, I can't find a babysitter or something, that could be an opportunity right there for you then to set up a one-on-one. You can come to them or ask them what day works for them, and then they can come to you, whatever you want to do. Or, discourage it in a way. I always say finesse it, is by just letting them know that this is a class that we're going to be discussing a lot of different topics. Some of them may not be children appropriate, and at a later date we will have children's classes, and we do classes specific to children. We have different classes where kids get to play with the oils and parents get to learn some do-it-yourself recipes and things like that. So that way you're not initiating their introduction to doTERRA with any negativity and like, oh no, we're anti-kids, but just that the class is more focused, and you're going to, depending on how many people you have in there, you probably aren't going to want to have your child in there. It's going to not be fun for them. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's ways around all of that.
That's a good idea though, to set up the one-on-one with them if that's their main issue, is having children that they don't have babysitters for. Sure. The next one is, what about for bringing a friend? I wouldn't even wait for them to ask me about, can I bring a friend? I always encourage during the invitation process, if you know someone with a need, if you know someone that needs to learn about oils, please bring them along. There's extra opportunities to win prizes when you do that. So plant that seed in their head before they even ask you about bringing a friend. Can they bring their spouse? And absolutely encourage that. Why? Because how many times do we hear during the time that it's time to make that decision to make a purchase, I have to talk to my husband. So it's much better for them to just be there and get through the class, because we all know that once the hubbies start using the oils, they're gonna want more oils than we do, right? So you want to make sure that if they're wanting to invite the spouse, I would even encourage that. Bring your husband. So that way they could have the discussion, and you might even get the bigger kits sold if the husband's there, because normally the guys, if they really want something, they're gonna get the biggest TV, they're gonna get like the top of the line, right? So bring the hubbies there. It's much better.
Yeah, and for ladies, again, like bring your husbands, bring your boyfriends, because they're gonna love the oils. I'm saying this as a guy. They may not come right out and say it, but when your man's walking around the house smelling like lavender and roses, he's using your products. So.
Yeah. And that way they don't have to wait to get that buying decision done. Because then if the wife goes back to the husband after the fact and he hasn't come to the class and he doesn't understand all of that, he might be like, what are you talking about? Hundreds of dollars for these oils. What are you doing? Might discourage it and put doubt in her mind after she's already been convinced that it's the best thing to have, right?
Right.
So have him there.
Yeah.
Because they know, if they don't know, they don't know that they're that they're doing the wrong thing. So let's see, spouse. What should I discuss? There's so much information. What should you discuss at a class? Classes should be simple. I took a picture the other day and I haven't posted it yet, but I literally had on the table, it was a small class, I had on the table my 10 basic oils, some order forms, a diffuser, and the Lifelong Vitality Pack. That was it. It's very bare. So many people I know bring a million tear sheets and all the oils and all the different diffusers we sell and all the hair care and the shampoo. And something I learned from my upline, and a saying that I love to teach people, is a confused mind says no. So you do not want to confuse people with all the different oils and the emotional oils and this kit and that kit and all the things doTERRA offers, because we know that as they become members and as they join us on oil camps and they get the education and the continuing education, they're going to get all that. We just want something simple. And what you cover in a class are very simple things. You cover what an essential oil is. You cover safety, right? So they don't put oregano in their eye. You cover how you use them internally, aromatically, and topically. And you make the distinction that they can't just use any oil internally, right? Why doTERRA? You know why doTERRA. Our co-impact sourcing, our quality, our testing. And then you just get into the 10 basic oils. And I always say we're going to go over the 10 basic oils that we determine every home should have. And you go over the 10 basic oils and you go over deep membership And I personally don't even go over all the kits. I go over the kits for the 10 basic oils. You get small bottles, you get the big bottles. Which do you want? Let's do it, right? Because a confused mind says no. So let's start them with what they're there for. That's how I do classes. I try to keep it simple. So what about you?
I agree. I mean, and there's, you know, I think it's one of those things where, you know, once you're in it for a little while and you've been in it for a little while, you learn these things. And you have to just kind of like listen to your audience and be receptive to what it is that they're asking you. If you have some people in your class that are a little bit more further advanced, they understand the oils, they understand a lot of the core of what you're presenting, you know, you can throw the big kits at them. You can have more in-depth conversation about some of the other unique oils and formulations. But when you're just starting a class, just for your own sanity and for the sanity of your class, just talk about the 10 basic oils. Because if you have those 10 basic oils, you're golden. You're gonna get through to everybody. Everybody has a need for these oils, and that's if everybody had that kit in their house, they could replace their medicine cabinet. So just keep that in mind. Keep it super simple, and you can grow from there. You've got many other opportunities beyond that point, but the first step is gonna be your greatest impression, and people are gonna remember the stuff that you talk about. So don't talk about too much, because then it's gonna confuse them, like Marlene just said.
Yeah. So that's basically what you cover. And again, you're going to probably have your upline there helping you get through the first few classes. How long should a class be? I try to go over I try to get people to start on time as much as possible. And the reason I do this is because I don't want other people that are there to feel like this is a lot of work. I would never do this. Like, this takes forever. I'm never doing this class again. You want things to be fun, simple, and, you know, like where the people have the rest of their day to do what they want to do. So try to start on time, keep the presentation to about 20, 25 minutes. And then you ask, they can ask questions, and then you there and you everyone has their order forms, and you have them write them out. You don't have to process every order form there. That's going to take forever. Have them fill them out, give them to you, and you can process them later. Just make sure you can read the handwriting.
How do you, if somebody's running late and stuff, because, you know, you are limited on time and people have a schedule. If somebody's running late or so, how do you handle that?
If someone's running late, like they have to leave?
No, if somebody's running late, like they're just not there, like the class starts at 6 and they're like, oh, I can't be here till 6:15 or 20 or something. What do you do?
I've pretty much, it depends. And if no one's there yet, then, you know, we wait for a few people. But if there's a few people there, I start and you know, finish it up, get those people started. The ones that come in later, as people are writing their orders forms out, I mean, sit with them and give them a quick little, like, this is what it is. You know, it might give you enough information. If you don't have enough information, would you like to meet me at another time? And I'll schedule the one-on-one with them at that point. Or I may schedule them for an aroma touch. Or I may schedule them for something that's going to give them that extra experience with the oil, because I'm not going to probably have time at that class to get that person all the information they needed because they were late. So. Right. And then it's on their, you know, based on their real interest in it. I'll stick around, you know, again, I try not to stick around where I'm there for 4 or 5 hours, because I'm going to try to book a class from that class. And I don't want everyone else there to feel like, oh my God. And it depends on your culture. I come from a culture where everything ends up becoming a party anyway. So whether I'm there or not, people are going to be hanging out. The food's going to come out. They're going to start drinking, whatever. So if they're there anyway, and they're not just waiting for me to leave, then I may stick around and, you know, give them a quick little class and maybe get them to enroll there anyway. But I'm not going to wait for everyone to be there, because sometimes that could be, especially with my culture, that could be like another 2 hours of waiting. So yeah, that's not a way to go with it. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Do I need to let people use my oils? I have to laugh about this one. Do I need to let people use my oils? They aren't cheap. Okay, so if you want to share, if you are in this sharing camp, let's start there. If you're in this sharing camp, it means that you have enrolled with us, you have gone through our basic camp, you have an understanding of loyalty rewards orders, you are on the loyalty rewards, because if you're not on that, then I really don't expect you to see the value in sharing, right? Because you don't have enough of it in your life. So if you want to share oils, yeah, I would say you should share oils, because it doesn't mean you're going to give them a full bottle. A sample literally is like 5 to 7 drops.
Yeah.
Giving a class, they need to experience the oils. I have given classes with shares in the past where they have their little kit, their family essentials kit, and they're passing the bottles around. And I noticed that the people are like going like this, and like there's nothing coming out of the oil of the bottle. And they're like, wait a minute, and the bottles are empty. Like literally they're passing around empty bottles. I have heard of cases where they pass around the cap of the bottle so the person can smell the cap. We do not want to do this, okay? We are sharing oils because the oils are amazing. We are investing in our oils because we know the value of them. And we need to get out of the scarcity mindset, okay? Abundance is there. We are going to have what we need. And if we're going to share that mindset with other people, we need to have them enjoy a drop of oil. If we don't see the value, if we can't afford to keep our bottles full, how can we help them feel like they can afford to have oils in their life, right? So I have to say, whatever that journey is for you, we absolutely share oils. We're not passing around empty bottles or caps, okay? That is not the way to share oils. I have to laugh. But maybe Ronnie has some other insight here, but that's definitely my 2 cents.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, you're very, very giving, and you'll sample anything. I have a little bit of probably still that scarcity mindset, and I'm a little frugal with my oils because I love my oils, and I like to protect things that I love, but I like to share the things like my oils that I love. So what I do is I always kind of set everybody up depending on the oil. I'll give you from the 10 basics, I'll sample those. What I do even more so is I narrow it down to 3, maybe 4. Lemon, peppermint, lavender, On Guard, because that's amazing and people always have an experience with that they love it, and Deep Blue. So you've got your 5. So maybe, find what you're okay with and go with that. So that's my suggestion. But one of the things that's come up a few times with me, and this was early on, is that people wanted to sample frankincense. And frankincense is one of the more pricey oils, and when you learn where it comes from and how it gets to be and gets to where we have it in our hands, you'll understand why. But I just was not real thrilled with that idea. And you have to say to people just very authentically, well, hey, what do you want to use this for? Like, what's your interest in it? In a class, it's real easy for people to just think of these as commercialized oils, and if they don't know better, they're slapping oils on, and before you know it, the whole room is just permeating with oils. And you just want to explain things to people. And once you do explain this stuff to people and explain the quality and what the oils do and what they're for, it's really a non-issue then at that point.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Marlene. If you're going to share, and if your goal is to build and to share, you need to do just that. Yeah. Share.
Yes, and I'll clarify that when I give a class, I definitely let people know. I usually start with giving everyone a drop of peppermint, only because it's such, you guys know, like you smell peppermint and it's like, wow, this is amazing. What is this stuff? Because it has that powerful impact. So everyone gets a drop of that. And then as I pass them around, I go, if there's a couple you want to sample, take a drop and try that. But please don't sample every single oil, only because these are very potent and you can have a detox reaction from them, and you don't know yet how your body's going to respond. So you don't want to bombard yourself. Smell it from the bottle for most of them. Take a drop, for maybe 1 or 2, right? Because it's legitimate that we know if we put all these oils on, it's not only going to be overwhelming, it can actually cause a detox. So that's a safety precaution as well. What Ronnie said about that same goes for me. For 3 years I've been doing this. I sample the same oils, because those simple oils cover everything. Because we're not going to help people with diabetes or cancer, which we don't do anyway, right? But we're going to help them with like things that they want. They're going to see the oils work quickly for. So those will cover everything. And if they ask me for a sample of frankincense, I'm very clear with them, and I go, I'll give you the sample of frankincense. Like Ronnie said, I'm pretty much very giving when it comes to the oils. I just try to put myself in that abundance mindset at all times. But I let them know, this is a $69 bottle of oil. If it works for you, is that the kind of investment you're willing to make? Because if you're not, I got something else that's not going to cost that amount. So it's educating. They may not know that. So yeah, I mean, there's ways to share. And lastly, if you're still adamant that these are your precious oils and you're not going to give a few drops away, send them to me. Send them to your upline. We will make sure that they get a sample if they need a sample. We're talking about two different things here. We're talking about having oils on people during a class, and then we're talking about sampling. Sampling doesn't mean you have to sample everyone that you encounter. In fact, I normally don't sample until after a consult, and usually during the consults or the classes, they're enrolling anyway. So it's something you'll learn as you go, right? You're not going to just share samples with everyone. So there's a way to do it, and there's an effective way to do it. And, you know, you're not going to end up feeling like you're giving a ton of stuff away. I normally will send you, if you've enrolled with me personally, you've gotten a sample in the mail of Balance from me with a few sample bottles. And I specifically show you that is just a couple drops. You see that the bottle's not even full. You don't have to fill these bottles up and just give people, not only because of the cost for you, but because we want them to just sample it, not end up having enough oil to last them 2 months and then they don't need their own, right? So yeah, I think that covers sampling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Diffusing. So yeah, we diffuse during classes. Normally I like to use something like a citrus oil because it's very a light scent. It's not going to overpower people. I wouldn't use something like patchouli, which some people love it, some people hate it. And you can overpower, and you don't want to like scare people away with the oils right away. You have to kind of gently introduce them to some of this. And peppermint's always good because it helps with focus and attention and alertness, which we want people to feel while we're giving them a class. Just a couple drops, and that's usually what I use.
Yeah, I think that you just have to be mindful of your audience, you know, and just use things that are user friendly. If it's a real specialized oil, you may not have somebody that's really into that, and so that could be off-putting. But like Marlene said, using any of the citrus oils, everybody loves the smell of citrus. Just make it inviting, set the atmosphere. Another really nice thing to do, I think, as well, is like when we're talking about sharing the oils, having the diffuser going, you're giving your audience an experience. So you are going to be passing the oils around. It's nice too just to have, just for visual purpose and also just for hands-on, is to maybe have some nice spring water, pure water, and you can put some lemon in there with some actual real lemons and some lime. You can make a nice citrus blended water and just let people experience that rather than, you know, hey, put some lemon in and lick your hand or something, you know. That way it's something they can engage with it. The more engagement that you can have with your people, the better. It's going to really be more profound for them.
Definitely. The next one is, should I serve food and refreshments? You can. I would suggest to keep that very simple. You don't have to feed them a whole like meal. Just something simple that maybe you even incorporate the oils to, like Ronnie said about putting oil in the water, or you can make a lemonade or something simple. I usually do like a vegetable dip thing with some veggies and some fruits. I would say healthy stuff, right? Because again, we're teaching people about a wellness lifestyle change and doing things better, eating better, drinking better water, you know, all of these things. So if they're coming to a class to learn about that, there really shouldn't be, you know, like donuts and a bunch of junk food to eat. It just doesn't match with us. And I love when I've gone to give classes for other people, when I show up and that's what they have, because they know, like, this is what, you know, how am I going to have this unhealthy food when we're learning about oils and we're learning about wellness, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, just little things too. I mean, it's just snacks because again, it's not going to be some, you know, three-course meal where you're going to be sitting and eating and stuff like that. It's really just for snacking purposes. And definitely, you know, be creative. Look up recipes, maybe things you've never even done yourself that incorporate the oils, and just get the feedback. Any way you can engage your audience is going to be awesome. It's going to be great.
I think there's going to be another video with actual tips. Well, you probably saw it already because this is like one of the last videos. So they gave you tips on recipes and things like that for the classes. So salsas and how to add the oils to them. Something really super simple.
Yeah.
Again, you want to make it so that other people decide they want to do this too. And if they come to a class and there's this huge spread and they're like, oh my God, this was expensive and I don't know if I can come up with all this to have a class, they're probably not going to want to book a class with you or continue that sharing, right? So we want to duplicate what we're doing. And that's pretty much, I mean, Ronnie has some things to show you with what a class in the box looks like and what you could, how you can use it to give a class, whether you have your upline there or not. If you don't have your upline with you, this is a super simple way to give a class and you have all the tools there. He's going to go over and show you what they are.
So doTERRA has, and Marlene, they're coming out with a whole new box, aren't they? Mm-hmm. We're getting a new box. So one of the things that was such a relief to me was, you know, I thought I was going to have to create all of these tools if I was going to give a presentation or talk to people, do one-on-ones or give a class. And what doTERRA has is they've got class in the box. So you get this, you order this in your back office through your wholesale account, and you're going to get this box full of all the tools that you need. Everything that Marlene and I were talking about and more is included in this box. You're going to get some guides on how to share your oils. I'll show you those. How to share your oils, why doTERRA, some business information. It's all in the box, okay? So you've got these tools, and so I would absolutely encourage you to buy that because it's going to give you that information that you probably have some questions for. It's going to answer questions that you don't know you had. So it's good stuff. Early on, we talked about having incentives to get people to come to classes. And that is one of the things that comes up a lot. It's a big question. People say, well, how am I going to get people to come? And you can give incentives like samples and oils and whatever. Well, in the class in the box, you get a whole box, 10 of these little guys here. These are wild orange, 5 ml bottles. These are awesome. People love these. So you'll get that along with your purchase, and you can use this as an incentive. How I would suggest using it is not, hey, if you come, I'm going to give this to you. Whoever you're talking to should come. They should just come. They should be there. What I would say is bring a friend, and I'll give you my little friend right here. And then that way it's an incentive. And but it's an awesome value. What does it cost for the whole box? It's like $30.
$25.
Yeah, so
$25. So you're paying $2.50, like $2.50, even just for the oils. You're getting 10 bottles of wild orange.
Right.
Just in that, they're 5 ml, but still, even if you calculate that, it would be more than $25 to get 10 5 ml wild oranges. Plus, you get all the paperwork, all the order forms. You get a DVD that if you don't have your upline with you and you don't know what to say about an oil, you stick the DVD in, it gives the class for you. And you just go in between each segment and just talk about how the oil has helped you, because you're sharing because you've used these 10 oils. We're not going over all the oils. It's just the 10 basic ones that you have already. So you go in between, show them the lemon segment. Oh, I use lemon this way. I put it in my water. It helps me with a sore throat. And this is what's worked for me, because these are your friends and family. They are going to know, they want to know how they're helping you. And the DVD practically gives the class for you if you don't have your upline with you.
Right, yeah, the DVD is really nice. It goes through all of the different oils that we're talking about, the 10 basic oils. You're going to get a nice, these guides here that everybody in your class can get, and they can follow along, and you can use this as your guide so that you can stay on point with what you're presenting. And then just, you get the doTERRA Living Magazine, you get the current issues of that. That you can give people that attend. So people are going to walk away with so much information, so much empowering information, and some goodies. And they're going to definitely have an awesome experience. So, back to you as far as presenting and things like that, just, take it easy and just keep it simple. But questions will always come up. So, we wanted to do this video just to cover some of the common ones. but questions will inevitably come up, and that's what your upline is there for. Your upline is there to support you.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's other questions that we haven't covered today, please comment. You know, you get prizes for commenting anyway, or you get more chances to win prizes for commenting. So comment with questions that maybe we didn't cover in full or that we didn't cover at all. And we're happy to reply within the comment section. And I just want to leave you guys with that when you're ready to share, regardless of how you're going to do that, if you're not ready to do the classes yet, if you're not ready to host the class yet, if you're already seeing needs in your community and needs in your friends and family, there's no reason to wait for that sharing part. Not knowing enough about the oils is not a valid reason. That is a disservice to your loved one. You don't need to know everything. You have us. Send them our way. That's what we're here to do. Some of us, this is all we do, is we share oils for a living, and it's the best job in the world. So we love for people to just send out. Don't just, don't tell the person, call Marlene or call Ronnie or call Rodney. That's probably not going to happen. Do it effectively. Get there. Is it okay if Marlene calls you? Give me the opportunity to reach out. And I would prefer a warm intro. So many times people will do a group message on Facebook and say, hey, Marlene, this is my friend Jennifer, and she struggles with this issue and this issue. And I've been telling her about how much the oils have helped me and how much you've taught me. Would you mind sharing with her? And then I take it from there, right? And what do? I set up the one-on-one. So there's no reason to wait. There's no reason to wait. If you can't sample, we'll sample if we need to sample. Many times just giving the information and the education is all it's going to take anyway. So I'll just leave you with that. Do not wait to share to know it all, because that day will never come. It hasn't come for me. It hasn't come for Ronnie. It's not going to come for any of us. And that in terms of feeling salesy, what I invite you to think about is the reason your desire is there to share is because of the impact these oils have had in your life. So what a disservice it would be to you if that person who shared with you would have stopped themselves because they didn't want to feel salesy. Right? Remember that what you're offering is a gift. It is selling, so it is, it's sharing, but we're also selling. So just keep in mind that had to happen for these oils to change your life. And they have, because that's why you're here. And that's why you're contemplating the idea of sharing with someone else. So I'll leave you with that. And thank you again for being here. We will have more information in the next few days. And please engage with us, comment, ask questions. We're here to guide you, to help. And Ronnie, if you want to say anything.
No, Jai, just excited for anybody that wants to get started. And again, just share your oils. Keep on using your oils. Keep on learning. And it'll be great. I really appreciate you guys.
We do. We appreciate our oily family, our oily tribe. And we just want to keep growing and growing and growing. And it's our mission to have an oil in every single home in the world. So because of technology, we can do that from anywhere. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.